you imagine losing your partner over a very simple issue? The story I'm about to share today will make you think twice before you ever keep malice again. Sometimes it's not what we say that destroys a home, it's what we refuse to say. That evening, Tunde barged into his mother's apartment, dragging his feet like a man who fought traffic and lost. His face looked like Lagos traffic itself, jammed, noisy, and full of frustration. "Momsi, what did you cook?" he asked, dropping his car keys on the center table like he was dropping his problems. "I'm starving, abeg." His mother looked up slowly from the book in her hand, adjusting her reading glasses like she was about to mark his life report. "Cooked as in?" she asked, one eyebrow raised. "This is the third time you're driving straight here from work. Oga, do you now live here? What is wrong with your kitchen? Or doesn't your wife cook again?" He ignored the question and opened her pot like EFCC doing surprise inspection. He sniffed the soup, nodded to himself and mumbled, "Nothing, Mama. I just missed your cooking." She folded her arms. "Ha, missed my cooking, care. You don't miss your wife's food?" "Yes, I do," he said, looking away. "But I'm not eating it though. She annoyed me." His mother dropped her glasses completely. "Ah, that's normal now. You talk to her about it." "Talk to who?" "Not me. Until she apologizes." He sighed. "Can you imagine? Oh, we're just talking. I told her I needed some money from the joint account. There's this land contribution we are doing in the office, so I can buy a plot. Immediately, she started listing things we would have to do before the land, that I should wait till after paying school fees, after paying this one. Even when I explained to her that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, she kept talking, Mama. You know women and their wahala. I even left her for a while so she would come to her senses. But when I got back, she was still talking like she's the one paying my salary, like she's better with finances than I am. Really, I felt disrespected. So I told myself, until she apologizes, I'm not talking to her again. I'm definitely not eating her food." His mother just looked at him. So that's how it works now. You've turned keeping malice into a hobby. Now, wow. Tunde hissed and scrolled through his phone. "Mama, you don't understand. That woman, she doesn't listen. I'm tired of repeating myself. I've told her severally that I don't like the way she's always strict with money. Let her stay on her own. No, I'll be fine. And God knows, I'm no longer doing any joint account thing with her." She laughed, the kind that carries both amusement and warning. "You'll be fine. Tunde, hunger is already punishing your pride. You are there forming hard man, dragging your feet into your mother's kitchen to beg for food." He frowned. Mama, this is not about hunger. It's principle. Oh. I need to say these principles early before it gets out of hand." She shook her head. "Principle. If principle could live, half of you men would never marry." He chuckled in spite of himself. "Mama, don't mama me," she said, smacking his arm playfully. "You think marriage is bread and butter? You and your wife will quarrel, yes. But if you let silence enter your bed, it will sleep between both of you and even collect rent." Tunde scratched his head, pretending to laugh it off. His mother sighed and gestured for him to sit. "Okay, sit down. Mr. Principal, let me tell you a story. About 5 years ago," she began, "there was this beautiful couple, Eje and Ufoma. They lived just 3 blocks away from our house. Eje was a banker, always in suit and tie, while Ufoma baked from home. They were good people, both of them, peaceful, always together. You see them and you think marriage is easy. They met at a friend's birthday party, and from that day, their love just clicked. People used to talk about them, not out of envy, but admiration. Apart from the fact that they look so much alike, they loved to wear matching outfits. Ankara, polo, even pajamas. You see them walking hand in hand on Sunday mornings, laughing like 2 people with no worries in the world. AJ always left early for work, but no matter how early, Ufoma would wake up before him to make akara and pap. That was like their morning routine. AJ loved pap, eh? That man could eat pap with anything. Pap and bread, pap and beans, pap and donut, even pap and biscuit if you let him. Mama chuckled softly at the memory. Then her face grew serious. But one morning, Mama began. Something small happened, but it changed everything. She shifted in her chair, adjusted her wrapper like someone settling in for a proper gist. That morning, Ufoma woke up very early, as usual. She wanted to fry akara and make pap before her husband left for work. But sleep had been fighting her since she woke. She had a lot of cake orders the day before, and her assistant had called in sick. And so she baked almost through the night. Still, she managed to wake up, blend beans, fry akara, and make pap for her husband. Because she was very tired, she had hurriedly made the pap. She served him the food. The akara was golden, crispy, everything perfect. But the pap came out watery, just small, not thick enough like Eje loved it. When Eje took the first spoon, he frowned. He said, Ufoma, what kind of pap is this? She laughed softly and said, sorry, I didn't think, I just added too much water when I was mixing. I was just tired. Should I change it? But before she could touch the bowl, he pushed it aside. Leave it, he said, so that you will say I am being inconsiderate. Every time I keep talking about this thing, you always choose your cake things over me. You know how I hate watery pap. Why are you always full of excuses? She looked at him quietly, still holding the jug of water. I said sorry now, she murmured, but he was already angry. He hissed and said, please take this thing. I don't even have appetite again. I'll just buy food outside. He stood up, picked his bag, and left the house. No goodbye kiss, no smile, nothing. That evening, Eje came back from work, still boiling from the morning quarrel. He didn't even honk when he packed. He just walked into the house like a man on assignment. Ufoma, who had been waiting for him since sunset, stood up immediately. Her heart softened when she heard his footsteps. She thought maybe he had cooled down. She even smiled small and went to the door to collect his bag like she always did. But before she could touch it, he moved past her as if she was a shadow. Eje, she said quietly, welcome. He dropped the bag on the chair and snapped. Please, leave me, Ufoma. I'm not in the mood for any pretense this night. She froze. Pretense. He turned to face her, his voice sharp. Yes, now. You've been acting like you're the only one that is tired in this house. You can't even do one thing without complaining. I beg you, just go and rest. That one cut deep. Ufoma stood still for a few seconds. Then something inside her broke. You know what, Eje? She said, her voice rising for the first time. You're behaving like a child. Every small thing you flare up. Every small mistake you turn it into war. I said sorry. What else do you want? I bet you want me to kneel down. He just stared at her. Her eyes filled with tears, but she kept talking. Since morning, you've not even asked how I'm feeling, whether I've eaten. Everything is about you. You and your perfect pap. Maybe you should go and marry pap itself, since that's what you respect. Enough, Eje backed. Don't insult me. Then stop acting like a baby, talking over nothing. Grow up, she screamed at the top of her voice. He grabbed his car key again. You know what? Let me go away before I say or do something I'll regret. She folded her arms, shaking her head. Go now. You always know how to walk away from issues. That's what you're good at, running. Eje turned sharply. Running, Ufoma. I'm trying to avoid doing or saying something I'll regret because I'm very pissed. She laughed bitterly. Regret? You already said it, Eje. Every word that comes out of your mouth lately sounds like regret. I don't even know why I bother trying anymore. He frowned. What are you trying exactly? You can't take small correction without turning it into drama. Correction? She snapped, stepping closer. Since when did humiliation become correction, eh? You talk to me like I'm your house girl. I said sorry for the pap, Eje. Sorry. What else do you want? You think being a husband means backing every morning? Don't raise your voice at me, he warned. Why not? She shot back. You are not God. You think this house revolves around you? You come back from work, drop your bag like you're the president, and I should start begging you to eat food. You didn't even buy. Is that what marriage is now? I beg. His jaw tightened. Keep talking. You're showing your true color today. True color? She laughed mockingly. Better my true color than your fake patience. You're just a proud man, hiding behind, I'm calm, I'm gentle. You hold grudges like it's a family heirloom, as if that's the only thing your late father left for you. He blinked. Are you calling me petty? I'm calling you childish, Eje. She fired back. You keep malice like a teenager. Every small thing you twist face, even if I breathe wrong, is a problem. You want perfect wife, perfect food, perfect pap. But what about me? Have you ever been perfect for one day? He pointed at her. Watch your mouth, Ufoma. Or what? She snapped. You walk out again? That's your talent now. The great escape artist of Ajegunle. He opened his mouth, then closed it. His hands trembled slightly as he picked up his car keys. You are unbelievable. She crossed her arms tighter. And you are unbelievable in your foolishness. You can't even talk like a man, always sulking and pretending you're too calm to argue. He glared at her. You know what? I'm done. If I stay here, I might say something unforgivable. She scoffed. Say it, oh. At least I'll be honest for once. You already treat me like I'm invisible, just because of nonsense. That one hit him hard. He paused for a moment, eyes narrowing, then turned and headed for the door. Yes! Walk away, she yelled at him. Run to your peace and leave me with noise. Abi? Maybe one day you will learn that silence doesn't solve anything. But the door had already slammed. The sound echoed through the house, bouncing off the quiet walls until it faded into silence. Ufoma stood there for a long time, her chest rising and falling. Then she sat on the sofa and cried. Not loud, just that tired, quiet kind of crying that comes from frustration more than pain. When he came back later that night, it was almost midnight. He smelled faintly of alcohol and car fumes. He didn't say a word. He just walked straight into the bedroom, pulled off his shoes, and lay down with his back to her. Normally, before sleeping, Eje always charged both their phones. He would take hers from the dressing table and plug it next to his. A small thing, but it made her feel loved. That night, he didn't. Only his phone's blue light glowed by the socket. Ufoma woke up in the morning to a low battery. She noticed that Eje charged only his phone without charging hers. Her eyes lingered on the charger for a long time. Then she sighed deeply and turned to face the other wall. If you won't charge my phone, she whispered under her breath, I won't wake you today either. And she didn't. That morning, she stayed under the covers as his alarm rang and rang. When he finally woke, he saw her still lying down and hissed. So you're pretending to sleep now, Abi? She didn't move. He bathed quickly, wore his shirt inside out first before realizing, then corrected it angrily. There was no pap, no akara, no breakfast waiting. The kitchen was silent. He looked around once more, muttered, suit yourself. Ufoma removed her covers and shouted, I will. Eje stormed out. That day, Eje went to work late, angry and hungry. But Ufoma couldn't sit still. After Eje left for work, the house felt like a punishment cell. The silence was too loud. Every sound, the clock ticking, the ceiling fan whining, sounded like a reminder of their fight. By noon, she couldn't take it anymore. She wore her clothes and went to see her friend Amara, who ran a small boutique a few streets away. Foma, what happened? Amara asked the moment she saw her face. You look exhausted. Ufoma tried to smile, but her lips trembled. I quarreled with my husband, though, over pap. Amara frowned. Pap, as in Ogi, Akamo. Foma nodded weakly. He said it was watery. And I was very tired, Amara. I baked that night till 2 a.m. and still woke early to fry akara. I just wanted him to appreciate it, but instead he was shouting, said I'm always making excuses. And I said some things, so bad things. Amara sighed, touching her hand. What did you say? Ufoma's eyes filled. I mean, I won't lie to you. I called him childish. He said he holds grudges like it's the only thing he inherited from his late father. She covered her face. I mean, I didn't mean it. I was just angry. Amara shook her head. Ufoma, men's hearts are fragile when it comes to respect. You know Eje loves you. But pride sometimes does not allow them to hear love sometimes. Please, when he comes back, just talk to him. No need for who is right or wrong. Just apologize. Peace is usually better than proving right. Ufoma nodded quietly. I will, oh, I promise I will. That evening, she made rice and stew. Eje loved rice and stew. She even added fried plantain, the one he always teased her about burning. She set the table, took her bath, and changed into one of his big shirts, the blue one he liked seeing her in. Then she waited. 6 o'clock passed. 8 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Still no sound of his car. By the time the clock struck 11, her eyes were heavy. She sat on the couch, dozing off between yawns, whispering, maybe he's still angry. Maybe he just needs time. When AJ finally came home, the whole house was dark. The stew had gone cold. He tiptoed in quietly, saw her sleeping on the couch, and felt that sharp ache of anger and love fighting in his chest. He almost touched her, almost, but his pride dragged his hand back. He walked into the bedroom, changed clothes, plugged in only his phone, and lay down. That was how that night began. Around 3 a.m., he noticed she had joined him in the bed. 10 minutes later, he felt a light tap on his shoulder. Eje, he heard her voice but didn't turn. His heart still hot from her words that morning. Another tap, softer this time. Eje, please inhale her. He squeezed his eyes shut, pretending to sleep. He told himself she's only looking for attention. But the tapping continued, weaker now like rain fading on a zinc roof. Then it stopped. He turned slightly, just enough to convince himself she had given up, and drifted back to uneasy sleep. When the alarm rang at 6:30, he woke up with a start. He saw her lying there, still on her side. He frowned. Ufoma, he muttered. So you're still forming sleep, Abi? You don't want to wake me up? He stood up, stretched and bathed quickly. There was no breakfast, no clinking of plates, just silence. He looked at her again before leaving. Continue your drama, he mumbled. I'm late already. He shut the door and left for work. All day, something sat heavy in his chest. No matter how he tried to focus, his mind kept drifting home. He remembered her eyes that morning, how tired they looked. He remembered her saying, I was just tired. By noon, his anger started melting. He sighed deeply and said to himself, I'll just talk to her this evening. I'll just end this thing. Life is too short for this kind of wahala. He even stopped by a roadside vendor to buy her favorite perfume and bought suya for her, thinking maybe she'll smile when she sees gifts. When he got home that evening, the compound was quiet again. He opened the door, expecting her to be in the kitchen baking, but the light was dim and the air was too still. He dropped his bag. Ufoma, he called gently. No answer. He smiled faintly, thinking she was still pretending. Okay, you won't show me Pepe, Abi? He walked into the bedroom. She was laying on her side, exactly how he left her in the morning. The blanket barely covered her shoulder. Her face looked peaceful, too peaceful. Ufoma, he called softly. Ufoma, get up, Joe. Put perfume for you and even suya. There was silence. He moved closer. Stop this thing now. He touched her arm. It was cold. Ufoma, his voice shook. Shook her. Ufoma, wake up. Nothing. His eyes darted to the bedside table. Her inhaler was there just beside his phone charger. His legs went weak. Jesus, Ufoma, he whispered. No, he lifted her, shaking, shouting her name. Neighbors came rushing in. Someone screamed for help. Another fetched a car. At the hospital, the doctor came out quietly, holding a clipboard. His face said it all. I'm sorry, he said gently. She's gone. He just stood there, frozen. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Only one sentence formed in his mind, and it broke him. She was tapping me, and I didn't answer. He fell to his knees right there in the hallway, crying like a child. It was just pap. It was just pap, oh, he kept saying. It was just pap. It was just pap. After the burial, Eje was never the same again. He stopped going to work completely. The bank tried to reach him, but he ignored every call. The once polished man who couldn't stand a wrinkled shirt now wore the same one for days. His neighbors said he barely ate. Most evenings they found him sitting outside, staring at nothing. Eyes red, mind far away. Sometimes he would whisper her name under his breath. Ufoma, Ufoma, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. The house that once smelled of fried akara and laughter now smelled of stale beer and silence. He started drinking heavily, not because he loved alcohol, but because it was the only thing that made him stop thinking for a few hours. Every night, the bar at the junction became his new home. The owner, Madam Stella, said he never caused trouble. He would just sit at the corner, drinking quietly and cry into the glass. One night, he didn't even come home. They found him lying by the gutter near the bar, drunk and half conscious. A passerby helped him up, but he wandered into the road. That was the night he tried to end it all. He had staggered toward the bridge, muttering, "What's the point?" over and over again. But the stranger saw him and pulled him back just in time. "Bros, abeg, don't end your life like this," the man told him. But for Eje, it had already ended. He couldn't forgive himself. Everywhere he looked, he saw her. The kitchen reminded him of her smile. The bedroom reminded him of her last tap. Even the socket beside the bed, the one where he had refused to charge her phone, felt like a wound. Weeks later, the boss said he looked worse. He stopped shaving, his eyes sank deep and his laughter never returned. Then one Friday evening, rain started falling. Eje walked into the bar again, soaked to the bones. He ordered his usual bottles. Madam Stella hesitated. "Bros, go home today now. It's raining. You've drank enough," she begged. He smiled sadly. "Home?" he said. "She's not there now. What am I going to?" He finished the bottle, stood up and left. That was the last time anyone saw him alive. The next morning, word spread around the street like wildfire. Eje don't die. He had been driving drunk on the expressway when his car ran straight into a speeding truck. They said it was instant. The impact crushed the car beyond recognition. Some said it was an accident. Others whispered it was on purpose, that his soul had been restless since Ufoma left. At his funeral, the rain fell again, just like the day she was buried. 2 umbrellas stood over the 2 graves side by side. People cried, but those who knew the story only shook their heads. Mama sighed heavily as she finished the tale. That's how pride finished 2 good people, my son. Not witchcraft though, not poverty, just pride. She looked at Tunde, her eyes glistening. You see, why I'm telling you this story, you still have a chance. Don't let small quarrel turn into silence. Go home. Fix whatever thing you have with your wife. Eat her food. Talk to her. Before anger builds a wall you can never climb. Tunde sat quietly, his throat tight. His phone was in his pocket, but his hand shook too much to bring it out. Finally, he whispered, "Mama, let me go home." Mama smiled faintly and nodded. "That's my son. Go and choose peace, because sometimes sorry is cheaper than funeral." Tunde didn't waste time. The moment he left his mother's house, he drove straight home. On the way, his mind replayed everything she had said. The pap, the fight, the silence, the regret. He kept shaking his head and muttering, "God forbid. I can never be like Eje. Never." By the time he parked in front of his house, he was already planning his apology. Dramatic one, no. Not those "sorry" you whisper under your breath. He opened the door quietly and saw his wife, Anita, sitting in the living room, scrolling through her phone, pretending not to notice him. He smiled small. "Annie!" There was no answer. He tried again, louder this time. "Madam Anita of the Most High God, custodian of the joint account, owner of all the kitchen spoons, my love, my oxygen." She rolled her eyes, but the corner of her mouth curved. Tunde, I beg, you better talk quickly before I forget why you're talking. He grinned and went on one knee dramatically. Sweetheart, I'm here to apologize officially. The chairman of Stubborn Men Association has resigned. From today, I'm a full-time peacemaker. Anita burst out laughing. You're not serious. I am, he said, hands raised. If you hear the kind of story I heard today, you will beg me to eat your food, even if it's burnt. She laughed harder. What story? He shook his head. My dear, don't ask. Just know that from today, even if you do me anything, I will drink it with joy. I will lick the plate. She chuckled, trying to stay angry but failing. Tunde, you can never be normal. He smiled. Normal men keep malice. I'm not doing it again. No. If I vex, I'll just drink cold water and continue loving you. Anita covered her face, laughing till tears rolled down. You're crazy, Tunde. She stood up, walked to the kitchen and sniffed the air. Wait first. Did you cook something? Jollof rice, she said, smiling shyly. Your favorite. Ha! God is faithful, he shouted, running to grab the spoon. This rice must not waste, even if it's too salty. It's the salt of peace. She laughed again, shaking her head. You are drama. He winked at her. Drama, is better than silence, my love, because silence nearly killed one man I heard about today. Not me. I choose laughter. She smiled, watching him dance with the plate of rice. So they took a spoonful, chewed loudly, then looked at her and said softly, I will never keep malice with you again, my love. Even if we quarrel, I will quarrel and make up. Anita nodded. Good boy. He smiled, leaned closer and whispered playfully. But if I vex again, just fry me akara and make pap. The thick one, you know, say I love it. Later that night, as they washed plates together, Anita looked at him quietly and said, you know, Tunde, I really missed this. I missed us. He nodded. Me too. And I will never take it for granted again. He leaned closer, whispering playfully, but if I vex again, just tell me, remember akara and pap. She burst into laughter again, shaking her head. Tunde will never change. Please, what is akara and pap? I don't plan to change, he said softly, because joy suits this house better. And that night, for the first time in a long time, the walls of their home echoed not with argument or pride, but with laughter, love, and the sound of two hearts that had finally learned peace. The end. Hi, besties. Thank you so much for watching this story to the end. You see, many homes are broken not because of infidelity, money problems, or violence, but because two people refuse to say one simple word, sorry. We often think strength means winning arguments, but real strength is swallowing your ego and choosing peace. Because truth be told, apology does not reduce you, it refines you. It takes a strong person to kneel down and say, I was wrong. Look at Eje and Ifoma. It was pride. I won't talk first. Let her come to me. And that's how many couples live today, sleeping back to back, pretending to be fine, building walls instead of bridges. But what we don't realize is that silence is slow poison. It kills love quietly, one day at a time. You think you're teaching the other person a lesson, but you're only losing your partner in installments. So if you're listening to this story today and there's somebody you haven't spoken to, maybe your spouse, your parent, your sibling, your friend, pick up your phone. End the silence before the silence ends you. Because in the end, it's not about who is right or wrong. It's about who was wise enough to protect the peace. And like Mama said to Tunde that day, sometimes just saying sorry is cheaper than funeral. May we never let pride cost us what love has already paid for. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something today, drop a comment below and tell me what part of this story hit you the most. And if nothing hit you really, just drop that keep going comment for me. And please, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our next story. We've got more gist, emotional, funny, real life lessons just for you. And don't forget to like and share this story with someone who might need to hear it. You never know who is sitting in silence, waiting for laughter to return. Until next time, my besties, choose peace over pride, laughter over ego, and love over being right. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.